Hello my friends, and welcome to Mystic Star Magic. Today we're going to have a lot of fun finding out who you were in your past lifetime. So this is exciting because I think it's a little bit of fun, and it's also because we're going to see maybe what kind of lessons you were going through there, and maybe if you're repeating them now. And I think it's a cool, fun little reading. If you want to find out how to win a free personal reading, just go ahead and check the description down below. And if you actually just want to go ahead and book a personal reading with me, all the information is down as well. All right, so let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. Close our eyes. And now as we exhale and open our eyes, choose whichever of these objects call you to them. All right, let's do this. Hello group 1, so you chose this beautiful mermaid on the moon and with a little star shining, or like the sun is shining here. So yes, this is also like one of my favorite little charms that I have, that I plan on making into a necklace sometime, but who knows when. But yes, so I like this. I wonder if maybe you're definitely maybe a Pisces, had a big dreamers, but we'll see what the tarot has for us. So right now I'm using the Ethereal Visions tarot, and so we're just gonna go ahead. Okay, so we have Three of Swords, we have Ace of Swords, we have the Emperor, wow, and then we have the Two of Wands. Okay, so first, right off the bat, I have to say that you were very, like, in your past lifetime, you were definitely somebody who had a lot of power. Yeah, with the Emperor card here, a lot of power coming through here. Possibly male, but I don't know. But what here is this power, the ability to act with insightful energy, like very confident, very strong, very like yeah, just powerful. I'm hearing here. And you did have a hard time making decisions. You kind of were, this is what I'm hearing, it's like you kind of wanted to go for it, like the more status quo, the more mainstream, but inside your heart really, and this is like also like a little bit of the mainstream here, but inside your heart you kind of went off into doing your own thing. You kind of went on your own path. Yeah, so even though like you hesitated a little bit, later, like, you know, later on you made the decision. You're like, no, you're going to go on a different path, your own path. And I think that is what made you into this like strong person that you are, and you were in your past lifetime. Something that's very important to you in your past life was the truth. You always, and here is again this Emperor, it's like a very strong noble energy, but it's also like the truth was something that was very important to you. You always wanted to act honorably, and always like the way you acted was from a sense of truth and what you thought was justice, what you thought was right. Now, here is another thing which I think is interesting, but there was a heartache, pain here for you in the past. There was possibly like with others, you might have had like third-party situation, or it just was love for you was painful. With this Three of Swords here, and I think it has something to do with your level of, you had a very high, like you had very high standards, that I feel like maybe not everybody could live up to those high standards, but again, very powerful, very strong, very like you are definitely like we're committed into like being the best you and the best that you could possibly be. So yeah, definitely strong. For me, it's actually quite beautiful. Let's go ahead and clarify these a little bit more. So like what, like, you know, who, I actually just want to clarify, and maybe we'll go and do another one, but let's see, go ahead. See, so let's clarify this Three of Swords. All right. So Three of Swords and Six of Pentacles. Okay. Look at that though. That's beautiful. So from your like heartache, from your pain, you learned compassion. There's like something about you that you learned compassion from this heartache, from this pain, from anything that happened to you. You actually learned compassion because of it, and that's a very strong lesson here. I will, like, yeah, I do like this. Okay, so let's see what, let's clarifying. Okay, the Page of Pentacles clarifying the Ace of Swords. So, isn't it interesting? So yes, you did have this, like, truth is very important. Truth was something that was important to you. But it was not something that came out right away. It's something that took you some time to actually learn about. There was like learning about it. You might have actually studied something to do with like law, something to do with like, yeah, because it's like this is the Page of Pentacles. There is some sort of like learning process coming through here. So you might have done something with the legal profession, like always trying to be truthful, always trying to like find this fair justice in there. Okay, let's find out a little more. Let's clarify the Emperor a little bit more. Past lifetime. Okay, 2 wanted to come out. Look at that. Wow. And I'm just like, wow. So we're clarifying this Emperor energy, and we have the Priestess and we have the High Priestess. So there was definitely you. I have to say there was a balance here for you. You did have a balance going through here as well. So, but I also feel like you had a counterpart and possibly a lover as well. But from what I'm seeing here, and that's just, you know, but for other stuff, we want to say like you did, even though you were kind of like you had this like strength and power, you did also, I feel like you had a very balanced personality, because you also did have like a connection to your emotions and to your like intuition as well. But again, this was what you showed the world. This is, I feel like, more deep inside you. You had a higher sense of intuition. You actually were very connected. So I think you were possibly interested in like more of a spiritual arts, maybe the occult. It was something that kind of drew you to it. And then we do have this like the Empress energy here, and there's this creativity in you. And I think that has a lot to do with this Two of Wands as well, because I feel like a part of you wanted this, like, you know, again, like I said, there was a status quo kind of following, but then you kind of went on into your own path, and that I think is more like your creativity here that is being expressed here. So, wow, beautiful. Oh my God. You're such a cool person. Let's find out, let's clarify this Two of Wands. Oh boy, that's why I don't usually shuffle on camera, because that always happens to me. Well, not always, but a lot of times it does. But in any case, these are the 3 that wanted to come out. I mean, a lot more wanted to come out, but these are the 3 to clarify this. So I wanted to show you this, which is interesting, because you had this choice of like the 5 of Pentacles. There was a choice of scarcity. That was kind of like, that I think was where you were, you know, like what you thought was what you were going to do, because there was like, you were fearful, and that's why you were thinking of staying with the status quo of things. So there's this thing, but look, but then there was like, when you went off into your path, into the less traveled path, I would say, you actually found wish fulfillment there, and friends, and like harmony. Like there is a harmony here. Again, I feel like this kind of like, when you went off on your own, when you went off into like the creative aspect. So it wasn't just like, oh, I'm having trouble here. And I feel like this is what counters this. You found friends, you found like, I really want to say like you found a community when you went off into your own world, your own path. So I really have to say, like, there was like, instead of going the regular path because you were being led because of the scarcity, like there was a sense of scarcity. You're like, oh my God, will I make enough? Will I, you know, like there's this worry about money, worry about everything, right? This ultimately what you did is you chose a different path, of the path, again, like I said, the path less traveled, and this is what got you the 9 of Cups, which is again fulfillment, and I feel like a sense of community that you were able to find there. And I have to say, this is actually quite beautiful. So it like we're looking at what is here. There is definitely like, if this resonates with you, there's like a lessons here of like, again, kind of, even if you're scared, even if you're like fearful of like taking, you know, a road less traveled, maybe a creative path here. It seems like that seems to work out for you in the past here. I also feel like there is a lot of compassion and learning from any heartache that you had. There's compassion, and that made you even stronger, is really what I'm saying. This is why you became this emperor, like a strength energy here. Really cool. All right, let's go ahead and see what other stuff we can find out about who you were in your past life. So maybe what was the big focus in your past lifetime? What was the big focus in your past lifetime? Group one. Okay, this one I wanted to go. Okay, so ending. You had a lot of endings in your life. So like coming to like, so learning when things had to become, like when things ended and being okay with that. That was something that was like, that seemed to be very important in your past life. And we also have luck. So really, there was good luck in that. I feel like maybe even finding the luck in the endings was as important. Very beautiful, very beautiful. Let's go ahead and see what kind of lessons your, like, you know, your inner child was going through. Like, what messages did your inner child, like, what was the inner child focus for your past lifetime? Yeah, building. Yes. So very important for you, like in your past lifetime, was building. And it's not only just building yourself, but building your life, building everything about you. And that's why you got this emperor energy. He definitely is, I would say, like an architect in a sense. Let's see what other what past lifetime, who's group one, past lifetime, lifetime. The Grail Knight. Oh, look at that. Oh my God. So this is like, I thought this was, and this is Wisdom of the Avalon. So this is the Grail Knight. So romance, illusion, seeking the sacred. So that's a really beautiful thing, because even though you had the Emperor here, you were a knight. You were looking for this, like higher knowledge, higher, like the Grail is like this higher knowledge, this more profound. You wanted more than just, I think, the everyday life. You wanted something a whole lot more deep. You were looking for real knowledge, real like connection, like, you know, real, yeah, seeking the sacred. That's what you were doing here. Then, and we have this in the High Priestess hidden, like underneath clarifying the Emperor. So that was something that was very important to you. Wow, I love that. Okay, since we also like, since we did kind of look at the like, oh, since I wanted to see what kind of like love lessons, or what kind of was your love life like. Okay, so we have these two. This is what was your love for last lifetime. So we have these two beautiful cards. So we have life is a series of constant shifting cycles. When you resist change, you resist the nature flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow, you will be surprised where it leads. So that was something, that was your love life here. So it was, I guess that was the pain here. There was a lot of endings for you in your life, in your previous life. And so there was a lot of pain, but I think through it all, you kind of learned to go with the flow and allow. But let's see what this one tells us too. So manifesting miracles. Your dreams is soon to become reality. Trust your heart and continue to follow its guidance. Isn't that what we said? Yes, that's the Empress energy here. And then that's why we had, it's actually like really, I have to say, I love when there's this synchronicities here, but that is what I'm saying. Like with the Empress, you did have this Nine of Cups and then this Three of Cups as well. And so when you followed your heart, when you followed what it was leading, it led you to wish fulfillment. It led you to finding a sense of community and a place where you belong. Wow, I really love this. Okay, let's go ahead and see. This is going to be more fun part, but we're just gonna, this is more where we're gonna see how this works out. So we're gonna use the old Maid cards, and we're gonna see like who were you in your past life. I also have a really awesome deck for the rest of this, but I just wanted to see who were you in your past lifetime. So possibly a scientist. Oh my goodness. And now to like to the highlight of this reading, we have the Who, and this deck was done by We Love Crystals, and this is like such a fun deck. And I'm going to do a review and flip through. So be on the lookout for that. So let's go ahead and see. Who were you in your past lifetime? Who were you in your past lifetime? Who was group 1? Past lifetime, this one really wants to go. Some LGBTQT. Okay, that's interesting. All right, and then we have, okay, we have fire sign. We have fire sign there too. We also have, oh, quite sexual. Ooh, and let's see what other stuff. Well, who are you? Who was group 1 past lifetime? So we had a tan complexion, medium or dark hair. Oh, look at that. And so again, please, like, if it, you know, you feel what resonates and what doesn't. This is a general reading, so. But this is actually a lot of fun, isn't it? So let's go ahead and see what else. Oh yeah, so we had a air, so a fire sign or possibly an air sign, down to earth. It was like you were, and that's the Emperor energy here, and you were a bit of a procrastinator, and that's, I think, that two of wands there as well. So it's like, oh my goodness, like, you know, you didn't really know what to do. And here is the final. We had the spiritual, so you were very spiritual. So here we go. We have a lot of like different things. Oh, so exciting. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and see which pin represented you in your past lifetime. What pin represented you in your past lifetime? Oh my goodness, look, heart. You were very loving, very compassionate, very giving, so amazing. Like, look at that, so loving, so caring, so beautifully amazing. And let's see what pins really call for. What pins really come out for your past lifetime. Okay. So you had some sort of, like, you possibly were married. The love between a grandmother and granddaughter is forever. So there was a great love between, like, your family was important to you as well. There was a great love. Possibly you were, like, I feel like that, you know, and usually I would say, like, oh, maybe you were, like, you did, fashion or something, but for me it really feels like you did a lot of learning where you had to mend a lot of relationships, because again, this there's 3 of swords is there. So there we have that. You have, yeah, so you were very intuitive, and that really is a strong element of, again, this energy of the oh my god, how can I say, the high priestess? Yes, the high priestess. This is like a lot of things. You probably had a lot of different kind of visions, and you possibly were look at that, you have, like, photographer maybe, but I also feel like you really like to kind of, I want to say collect moments, but I want to say, like, you know, like, you really, everything mattered to you. You wanted to take pictures of everything because you wanted to have the memories of it. So everything, like, all the memories were there. And then look at this, you have this beautiful key of unlocking. So you did have, I feel like throughout your past lifetime, you learned how to unlock your heart. You learned how to really, like, allow love in here, because again, this is your heart. I think this was a really important lesson that was happening here. It's all about heart and really following your heart, you know, like, that was kind of what it is. It's always about following your heart there. So yeah, I think that is it for you, group 1. So I think that is what I'm gonna call it there, because I feel like this gives us a very, like, strong vision of who you were. And I have to say, it's such a beautiful, like, it's a beautiful reading, a beautiful lessons, and like, your life experience was very beautiful. I'm very, like, I like this a lot. So let me know if you like this a lot, by sharing, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And for all of you who have been doing that, I'm so grateful, and I feel quite blessed because of y'all. Thank you so much. I am sending you so much love, so much fun, so much happiness, so much joy and abundance. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye, group 1. Hello, group 2. Let's find out who you were in your past lifetime. So you chose this beautiful ring, with the pearl and the little hidden diamonds inside. So it's like one of those, like, really cool. I feel like there's a lot of stuff coming through there, maybe shining your light on the world. So we have So here are our tarot cards. We have 5 of Swords, 9 of Swords. We have 3 of Wands, and then we have Judgment. Wow. So I feel like, okay, so in your past, you often worried about the future. There was like a lot of worry. You had a lot of worrying. I feel like you put yourself up in a very high standards, and you were always worried about things. Did I do everything right? Did I do this right? And so it was kind of like there was a lot of anxiety in you, especially with the like worrying about the future and also worrying about the past. I feel like you had this sense of like, I want to say like a little bit of low confidence here, because you were always questioning yourself. You're like, and quite judgmental of yourself as well. We have the 5 of Swords. Often you had victories, but somehow, like, even though you were victorious, it just didn't feel right. It just was hollowed, which I thought is interesting, because we do have this like 5 of Swords. Okay. Which is like, you see, they got all the swords, but they're walking away and they're just kind of like, oh, so that was it. So if it's a feeling of like, oh, was that it? Was everything like I did, was that enough? Like, was this it? Was like you didn't actually have that celebration even when you accomplished things that you wanted to do. So you also were a big planner. So you like to plan things a lot with the 3 of Wands here. So you're always kind of looking out into the horizon, trying to figure out what move to make, what to do next. There was again like a lot of planning here. I do like this, that you have the Judgment here as so I feel like all through this it came out that you kind of like were, I don't know, I feel like there was some sort of awakening in you last lifetime. You were kind of understanding things. You kind of got more clarity. It was like you were rebirthed even in this, which I think is quite beautiful. But let's go ahead and clarify this. So what is the 5 of Swords here? Why is the 5 of Swords here? Okay. So we have the Star, and then we have the Page of Cups. So that's interesting. So we did, so I again, this is like a sense of like kind of, it's interesting because it's like there was a sort of like, learning and healing that needed to come from this. It was like something that kind of you needed to connect to, more to yourself, I would say, to your emotions here. So I feel like this 5 of Swords was actually really important to you, because I feel like you've accomplished a lot in your past life. A lot of like all the goals that you had, like again, because you're a big planner, all the goals that you had, you accomplished a lot of them, but they just felt hollow, because you're like, wow, was this like, that's it? But what this did is that you started to question yourself more, and I think that's why we have the Judgment here. You started to question yourself more, was like, was this it? Was this all there is to it? And with this questioning, you actually kind of connected more to your emotions. I feel like there was like you just connected a lot more to your emotions and also to your intuition, and that provided a healing for you, and also provided this new hope in you. So with this lesson that came of like, okay, you accomplished all that stuff, but it wasn't what it didn't give you the satisfaction you hoped for. You actually started to question things. You started to like look deeper into yourself, and you created a new sense of hope, a new direction for yourself. And that's the Star. If it's like, I really want to say like your star was born then, like that's when you really understood things a lot more. Let's see about this 9 of Swords energy here. What is this 9 of Swords energy? It's like, wow, I'm trying to do 1 card for the clarification, and 2 just keep coming up, so that we're going to go with it. I just thought it was funny. So again, there's a lot of Page energy here, so I feel like there's a lot of like learning and being in like in a younger sense of learning. So maybe you learned these lessons when you were young, and that's beautiful. So again, we have the Page of Wands here. So it was like the 9 of Swords. I was trying to find this balance, trying to find a balance that even when the chaos was around, it was something that I think you kind of went off and did again learn by following by instead of like worrying about things, this is like you started to take action, small action, not a big action, but you started to take action. And when you started to take action, you noticed that there was like even if it was like there was a lot of tumulus and there was a lot of things, you kind of found a new balance within yourself. So I do like that a lot. Taking small action there, even just starting to take action is what led you to be able to find a balance. That's why I never do this, but okay. Sorry. Part of the reason why I don't ever like I hardly shuffle in camera, because if you actually see my if you see group 1, you'll see that there was a major spillage there too. But anyways, oh, it's funny. So the 3 of Wands was clarified with 3 of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. So this is actually quite beautiful. So with your planning, it was like you were trying to plan the foreseeable future, right? But I really feel like what happened here is that Fortune kind of took its own, like, instead of like you had a lot of like the best laid plans, but it just they didn't kind of pan out, because Fortune always kind of like the Wheel of Fortune kind of took over. So like you plan in detail and try to like, I really want to say like it's kind of like a little bit of controlling here, not always, but I feel like it was because you didn't like this, you didn't like the worry, so this worries kind of led you to try to control situations and control your future in a sense, and then but then like the Wheel of Fortune kind of took over and and just kind of threw you for a loop, but in a very positive way, because I feel like every time you allowed the Wheel of Fortune, it allowed yourself to have that, like, you know, like, take a chance is what I'm hearing, like, take a chance. It always worked out. It always panned out for this 3 of Cups. So it was like there was joy in it. There was always like something that brought about it. It's so interesting. All right, let's see what the Judgment card is being clarified by. We clarified the Judgment card here. We have Temperance. These are actually always like interesting cards. I'm always like, oh, right. So we have the Temperance here. So yes. So this took patience. This took patience and learning. Again, it's like kind of like the 2 of Pentacles. You needed to learn how to balance yourself out, to not worry so much. This was like a lesson, a big lesson here for you. Like, not worry so much, but find the balance in it. And regardless of what the circumstances and situations are, just kind of find a way to create something that you want out of it. There's always like potential for like everything always working out, even if it doesn't appear that way. And again, this is what led you to this great awakening, finding this temperance, finding the balance within yourself, really like connecting to your, you know, like well-being, and knowing that regardless of what things happen, you were patient, you were understanding, you kind of just allowed things to flow again. And there was a big awakening because of that. Oh, I do love that. Okay, let's see what was really like your focus during your past lifetime. Big focus. Okay. I'm trying not to like let them all collapse everywhere. Oh, wait. My Queen of Wands in reverse here. Oh, that's interesting. So these guys snuck in. So we had the Queen of Wands and Queen of Cups in reverse. So maybe there was, well, I'm just, if they fell and I didn't pick them up, there's a reason for that. So the Queen of Cups came in reverse here for us. That's actually, that means to me that there was like not connecting to your emotions as much, even though we did have this with the Page of Cups there. We did have not fully there, not fully allowing emotions to flow naturally to you. And I feel like that actually kind of like, even though we have the Judgment here, you didn't fully go into like a completion. I feel like there's still, so what's telling me here is that these are still lessons that you need to learn in this lifetime. Even though this is for past, I feel like these are two important elements that are coming through for this lifetime. So it's like allowing you need like to turn this over. You need to like really listen to your intuition, to your own emotions, and like really kind of allow them to help you through it, and then to turn this world around, to turn it so that you have this completion. Because there is a great awakening. You had a great awakening, but I feel like there was not completion there yet. These are the things that we need to do for this life. So that was not what I wanted, but it was what came through. Okay. Okay, so very strong things that you've for last past lifetime, those were faith. Learning how to have faith in things. Yeah, that was definitely something there. Because again, I feel like there was like a little bit of the energy of trying to control things, trying to like even not in, and I say manipulate, but not in like in a bad way. I mean like just you were trying to like put out fires before they even started. That was the worries. You're always thinking, oh, like what could go wrong, what could go wrong, and then always trying to like predict it and try to stop them even from happening. But even if you were successful at it, that was a hollow victory there. So here we have, and again, this is actually quite beautiful because you like your lessons was kind of like on having faith, having like believing in like this again, like kind of connecting to this higher person, like higher being, like higher self, like being awakened. And that is that need in order to that to happen, you have to have a bit of faith. And here is this shining, the star that's coming through here again is needing to shine instead of like again, I don't know why I feel like a lot of control, like you measured, like you controlled yourself a lot during your past, but it really was about shining, finding the light in things here. Wow, it's quite strong, quite beautiful. Let's go see what your inner child said in your past lifetime. What was like something that was happening there in your inner child? What was important to your inner child last time? This one. Okay, taking flight. So really just going forth, not, like that's what it is, like not so much planning, but just kind of taking flight with it, following your dreams and just following that star. You see, that star is shining, and star is like very strong for your past as well. Let's go ahead and see what other things we have here, like who was group 2 in your past lifetime. Group 2 in your past life. And please remember, this is a general reading, so please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. What's your past? Who was group 2 in your past lifetime? So here we have risks. Okay, so this is interesting because we in this one we have how do I say? So this is my wisdom of Avalon. So they actually have different types of things. This is actually the sacred journey marker. So here it is. So in your past lifetime, you were learning how to take risks, not try to plan so much, not try to like again like control, but taking risk, taking that leap of faith. And it was always rewarded. When you did that, it was always rewarded because you got the 3 of Cups there for whenever there was a Wheel of Fortune. Taking that leap of faith is always what you needed to do. So I feel like that was a big marker here. So risk taking, believing in yourself, taking flight, and allowing like things to go forward with that. Let's go ahead, and this is a little fun. This is my little fun thing for us. So like, let's see. It's the only who were group 2 in their past lifetimes. A chef. So you were possibly a chef, or you had a thing for food. I am 100% foodie, so I understand that. All right, and here is like the one that is really going to be like the oracle that's going to really highlight and answer lots more questions, and that's the Who oracle by V Love Crystals. Be Love and Crystals, and it's a lot of fun. Let's find out what who you were in your past lifetime. Group. You have that, so very skillful, look at that, very skillful, very artisanal. Okay, these two wanted to do spiritual. Okay, so spiritual kind of came across. Also, group 1 had spiritual, and you had air signs. So they also had air signs. So it could be an air sign that you were. We also have self-employed. Oh, that's really interesting. So maybe there's also a lot of anxiety because of that. This one, I don't know. Intelligent, highly intelligent. Wow, look at that. Let's see what other. Oh, sexual. This guy wants to come out. This is also group 1, so sexual. So you did enjoy sex, I guess. So this one is an adolescence. So maybe I really feel like when I see that, it's like things, like big things happened to either during your adolescence in your lifetime, or you kind of had, there's still more growth for you to have for your soul. That's what I would say. Let's see. Where's who group 2? Like, oh, you like sports and fitness. That's pretty cool. And okay, I don't know why this one wants to come out. And here, these 2 are the last ones. Let's call these the 2. So we have games. You actually enjoyed games a lot because you were very intelligent, seems very intelligent, very skillful. So you liked to figure things out, is what I'm saying, and then performing arts. So you had a lot of talents. You're very talented. So I feel like, but I do love that this is like what it all led to a big awakening in you last lifetime. But like I said, we still have more. I feel like there's still more for you to work on this lifetime with the Queen of Cups in reverse and the World in reverse. So we're gonna, I think that would be really cool. But let's go ahead and see what pin what pin represented group 2 in their past lifetime. Oh wow, leveling up. Yes. Well, yeah, because I mean, when you have an awakening, it's pretty big. Let's also see what kind of charms represented you last time. So let's see. Pins represented group 2 last lifetime. Oh wow, we have a lot of cool things. So we did have endings. There were endings coming through here. Taking flight again was very important. You see how there's always this leveling up. You're going higher and higher. She believed she could, so she did. So we just have this energy of being able to accomplish everything. You're very skillful. Again, that is something. I did notice that the mermaids pushing, turning their back, and this one definitely has a friend. So what I'm hearing is, again, this is something that you're still working on, because it was it's like turning your back on your emotions, turning your back on your intuition here, and that's what I think it still needs to be worked on. So that was something that was there. There was love coming through here. Oh my goodness, I forgot one major thing. So I'm gonna, once before we finish, I'm gonna definitely do that. So love is big in there. You also had very beautiful. Be the peacock there. You were quite beautiful. I'm seeing that. You did you liked games. You liked to solve puzzles. And life was kind of like that for you. And believe in love. That was another thing. I totally forgot. One important part, which I wanted to find out, what kind of love was there for you. So this one wants to come out, and so these 2 actually want to come out here. So this is the love that was throughout the past life. So we have this one and we have this one. So here we go. Let's look at this one. If you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind, for the heart is the gateway to the soul. So yes. So that was something that was a lesson, or something that was a focus for you in love in terms of that. And then we have this beautiful one here. So when you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories that you have shared with those you love. So that's something also that kind of came through as well. Wow, so beautiful. I really do like this reading a lot. So please let me know if you like this reading and if you find it fun, helpful, insightful, any of those things. I would love to know more about it. And by comment, sharing, subscribing, and yeah, liking, that would be awesome too. I am so grateful to all of you who have been doing that. You guys are awesome, and you totally make my day every day. So I am so grateful to all of you. I am sending you so much love, so much light, so much fun, and so much happiness and joy, and just wow. Here. Work was very important to you. Let's go ahead and think about that. So you were strong work sense, and you loved the work that you did. There was a lot of you had this power, ability to manifest things for yourself. and you kind of, whatever happened, you kind of took it and you created something from it. Like, no matter what, there was like, you had all these tools and you created things with it. We do have the Hierophant here, which is, again, like, I feel like somebody who loves deep knowledge, who has a lot of knowledge, possibly a little bit traditional. But again, it feels like there was a lot of like, you wanted higher knowledge here along with this. And the Star. So, and this could mean several things. You could have actually been somebody who was actually a star, like an actual star, like, you know, like, oh, somebody who was famous. Also feels like there's a lot of like healing that was done, and there was like, you had a sense of hope, you had a sense of light in you. I really feel like you kind of shined your light on the world, whether you're famous or not. There was a real, you did something quite extraordinary. I don't know why that feels that way, but it does. Let's go ahead and clarify. Okay. We're clarifying the Star with the Ten of Pentacles. So yeah, you family was very strong. You had like, you accomplished a lot. There was a lot of accomplishments for you last lifetime, where you, I really do feel like that you did shine your light in the world very nicely. You might have also like had a big family. Like, family was important. Like, having its I don't know why legacy is coming through. That's what I'm hearing. The Moon, we have the Hierophant and the Moon here. So I do feel like you actually did want this knowledge. You were always looking for knowledge, and especially from the hidden. You wanted like more deep knowledge about things you didn't know. I'm guessing like your personality was more like, you wanted to know everything. You did not like not knowing. Let's go ahead and clarify. Okay, that one wants to come out. And it fell. Alright, so we have, oh wow, Three of Cups just came out in every pile, I think. So Eight of Pentacles, yeah. So you found like a friendship through work, friendship community through work. Feeling like very excited, very happy. Celebration of your work was important. Okay, I think these two actually wanted to come out with this one. Okay, so it's so interesting. So we have the King of Swords, and then we have the Nine of Swords here for the Magician. So the Nine of Swords, there was a lot of worries. I feel like there was a lot of worries. I feel like, oh wow, I don't know why, but this is, people had really high expectations of you, and you had really high expectations of yourself. So even as like, people expected really great things from you. And we have the King of Swords there. So you did accomplish it, but it was like, but you, like, the way you did it was a bit like, how do I say it? A bit rough in terms of like, the King of Swords is like somebody who's very logical, very, sticks to the facts, to all the things. Like, there's like very logical again, not, and very truthful in that, like, there's a truth to be said, a little cold, a little stoic. That's kind of the energy that we have here, and that's how you became this. How did you, like, I think you had the Magician because you actually put out a lot of effort, but you also kind of, I feel like you had to block yourself a little bit, emotionally, in order to achieve this, like Magician. Like, you felt like you had to do that, and you're always worried about it. You were like, would you live up to your expectations, or others' expectations of you, right? Again, though, I do see that like, work for you was like such a pleasure. Work was where you, on, like, this is something that meant a lot to you. Whatever work you did, you just loved it. Yeah, that's like, oh, that's really cool. Let's actually go ahead and see. And again, though, I have to say, there was a lot of shining your light on the world. Like, that is definitely, you had an impact on the world last lifetime. Not saying we all have an impact on the world, right? But I feel like there was something quite extraordinary about you. Just mostly because there was like such major arcana cards here. So we have heat, so there was passion to be had. That's was something that, an oath. Yeah, you would have you had to, like, again, there was very strong like connection here to like always living up. Like, you kind of had an oath to yourself, but an oath to others that you felt like you had to live up to. And again, passion is here, though. I do feel that this is interesting because it kind of contradicts this energy of the King of Swords. In terms of like, I would say the King of Swords is kind of cool and cold a little bit, but I feel like that there was something there for you about this. It's like maybe part of your learning was learning how to add that passion, that to the heat, which is interesting. Again, also, like, we don't actually see very many. We see swords here, we see pentacles, not that much wands, no wands here at all. And so that's the wand energy, could be that as well. So there's a sense of needing to be heat, to add heat to life here. So this is actually quite interesting. I wonder if that's true for you in this lifetime. Are you quite logical, or are you adding more heat into your life? That's cool to know. Again, because I feel like there is this sense of like not always wanting to know what the things that are hidden, that are unknown. A quest for knowledge is what it seems like you had in the past life too. Quest for knowledge was very strong. All right, let me see what your inner child was telling us. Yeah, so victory waits. There was a lot of victory for you, and it was like, but you see, like, it wasn't effortless victory. It was always like you had to work for it, to swing yourself into like being able to have that sun, to have that victory coming through as well. I do feel like you were really a hard worker, and that's like just coming through again and again here. Let's go ahead and see what, let's see what this is. Like, who were you? We're using the Wisdom of the Avalon. Who was group 3 in their past lifetime? Okay, this one. Huh. Okay, and that actually makes sense. That we have this one. This came out, the King. So man, authority, male sexual energy, things pertaining to law and justice. So there is this, again, because of the King of Swords here, energy coming through as well, is like there is like this authority that you had. And I really feel like with the Magician, I just feel something like you can make things happen, like from like almost magically in a sense, but they cost you a lot because you did worry about it. People had really high expectations of you, and I feel like that's this King energy as well. So it was like you did have an authority, you did have like this, but I feel like finding this heat was what was missing from you, because again, there's this lack of like the balance of this. The balance of the King is like the Queen is emotional. It's like strength, but in a like a feminine kind of. This was very, it feels very masculine, this energy. Yeah, that's what I would say, like a little masculine energy in there. Let's see. Okay, yes. Sorry, I'm just like, I have to, because last time I forgot to do this for group 2, or not really forgot, I mean I did it, but later on. So let's go ahead and do it. Like, what kind of love lesson, or what was the love that was here for group 3? Whoop, okay, I also feel like that one's coming through. Okay, and this one. Okay, so these are actually the ones that we chose for the love that was coming through here. So we have this one right here, we have this one, and we also have this one. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this one since that one. Okay, so a message for you. I'm thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light, and I love you. So maybe you had, in your past lifetime, you might have actually had like a twin flame or a soulmate. That was a big like happening here, which is interesting because that doesn't show as much over here, but there is this, like, but here we have it here, right? And there's heat as well, and there's strong, yeah. So that, I feel like maybe that was a strong connection here. So we also have here time. So you are trying too hard, give it time. So time was also of an essence here. Wonder, and then let's find out what the other message is. Transformation. Your relationship with another is about to deepen. Love conquers and transform all things. Wow. Oh, I would have liked to have seen who you were. Maybe somebody with a water sign. Anyways, so there was so you did have actually a big love, I would say a big one with this message from love. So I wonder if you have like that connection even in this lifetime, because it seems like that connection didn't just sprout from nowhere. It seems like there was this connection probably has traveled with you for several lifetimes. So that's an interesting thing. Whew. I love when we're like getting a whole bunch of information coming from through. And this is actually just my little old maid. I thought this would be kind of fun. A little fun to add to this. Let's see. Who were you in group? Who was group 1? Group 3. It was group 3 in this last lifetime. Okay, so it seems like you were a hiker, so somebody who enjoyed nature, probably somebody who I don't know, yeah, so like enjoying nature, kind of like sporty, feeling that's very strong, that's coming through. Okay, and now for the highlight of it all, we have the Who Oracle deck by We Love Crystals, and this is going to answer a lot more questions, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and like see this. All right. So who was group 3? The collective, basically. So confident. Yes, you definitely have that confidence with this Magician, with the Hierophant, with the King of Swords, and the King. You are definitely 100% quite confident there. But you know what's funny? Even though you have confidence, you still worry. There was still a worry here with the Nine of Swords. You're like, oh, okay, this one wants to come out. You had Earth sign, so okay, that was interesting. So that's maybe why you love to hike. Connection to Earth. Let's go ahead and see what other. Who else? Who were you? We have Nurture. Oh my god, that is interesting because you don't really show it here. But I guess, okay. That's why I don't shuffle in camera, because that's usually what happens. But we're going to go ahead. I think these are good. But the nurturing that comes in, that is actually quite interesting. I didn't, because I see it maybe with the Three of Cups there, but I don't usually see it. Sexual just wanted to come out, like everyone. So I guess there was a lot of people who were very intense. And we have down to earth. So yeah, earth signs, down to earth. Spending time in nature was very big for you. We also have multilingual. So you were multilingual, and you possibly had light hair. And then we have a bit of a social butterfly, but I feel like that is more like, I really want to say more networking than social butterfly. But there is a transformation here, though. There's a connection there as well. And yes, there was spontaneity and possibly air sign as well. So that's a really cool thing. All those are interesting things. Let's go ahead and see what pin really defined you. Oh, look at that. The Magician comes out again. You had the Magician again. Oh my god. So you had this, there was a lot of, you manifested a lot during the last lifetime. And I feel like, wow, that's pretty strong right there. Coming through again, this Magician energy. You have this Magician Wizard energy. Let's see what Sprinkle of Charms have for you. Let's see what past life the group. And here again, this is interesting because we had this one. Again, there's this oath. There's like a connection. You were married, or like a strong bond is between somebody else there. You also have a thimble here. So, maybe kind of protecting yourself from others. That's the King of Swords energy here. You kind of protected yourself from others here. There was journey, so lots of journey, lots of excitement here. Moth, you did possibly have some sort of I don't want to say addictions, but you definitely had things that you were very attracted to. Possibly you were very attractive. People were just attracted to you, like the moth here coming through. You versus you. So yeah, again, that's the Nine of Swords energy that's coming through. So much, you put so much on yourself, so much weight on yourself. We do have the tree here. But it's not ready. It's not harvested yet. It doesn't have the leaves. It's kind of in its sleeping mode right there. So that's time. I love you to the moon and back. Yeah, right? There's this again. Right here, look. A message for you. I'm thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. And there's again, this there's a great love here for you. Again, I wonder if there is, like, if you actually have that connection again this lifetime. So putting together things, I feel like you had a way, again, with this magician energy of like just kind of creating, like, and putting things that I think normal people didn't see. You kind of created something with them. You had this way of looking at things in a different way, and like kind of almost like magic. You blended things together. Puzzle. So yeah. And that, I think, is your Hierophant and the moon energy. It's always wanting to know more. It's always wanting to like fill in that gap of like, what is it that I don't know? And again, connection here with the wisdom. Wisdom is very important to you. Like lots of, I feel like you were very confident, but you had like a very big thirst for wisdom and knowledge, which is a little similar to group 2. Please let me know if you liked this reading, if you had fun watching it, if it was insightful. Like, just comment, share it, like, and subscribe if possible. That would be super awesome. I'm so grateful to all of you who have been doing that. Everyone, like, all of you are so amazing and so beautiful. I'm so grateful. With that, I'm sending you so much love, so much light, so much happiness, so much joy, and just like, wow, amazing things happening. Do see, like, do you have a recurring theme in like in this as well as like in life? Oh my god, and I forgot this little guy. And then you have like a little chicken. So I feel like there is like, I really feel like there is a you want it to be a lot more tender than you like to nurture more than you like to show it to the world. Okay, with that, for real. So have a great day. Bye bye, group 3.